Alright, so so this is a video that is part of my collection of videos that I'm making. There will be probably approximately 100 of these videos. Some might be more professional than others, but whatever, you know. I thought I'd show everybody, as well as other lightning mental calculators, like how to mentally calculate better, I guess. I don't know. So what I've done is I've combined like memory techniques with lightning mental calculating. So to master lightning mental calculating, which is like an extremely rare set of abilities that supposedly only like, I don't know, 0.8% of the world population is capable, according to several sources. But of course, you know, how do they know? Do they go around and ask everybody, you know? And do people with these abilities does everybody, each one of them volunteer, you know, their information and show their capability? Probably not. So anyway, so counting in groups of objects. The thing is with lightning mental calculating, it's counting. You count everything. You count and you add, and you'll actually find out that everything in mathematics, everything that you come across in mathematics, it doesn't matter what mathematics system it is. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, arithmetic to linear algebra to algebra 1, algebra 2, all the different things in algebra, all the different types of like things in known algebra. It doesn't matter what kind of like mathematics it is, you know. Calculus, pre-ordered algebra, electricity, like whatever, you know. It's all addition. Everything is addition. Every single thing that I've come across it can be broken down to just addition of perfect whole numbers and imperfect numbers, which are the decimal numbers, right? Even subtraction, and differences, like all the little things in between, right? And I demonstrated that in my other video. I showed everybody how to, in my video, I showed and demonstrated how to solve all complicated subtractions by using addition, by adding, by counting. All you do is count and you add it together. It's very easy. Okay, so, but of course, that's what like mathematics is. That's what I've like figured out, you know. Mathematics is just like, okay, well, you know, it's just a set of symbols, and you just memorize the symbols and their definition for that specific type of mathematics, and you know, it's all just a bunch of variables and stuff, and it has like a meaning, and they just use it to document and record things, you know. Or procedures, you know, logarithms, algorithms. Algorithms are just like sets of rules that you follow to be correct. You record the algorithms, and then when you execute the algorithms, you arrive at the exact same result every single time you execute the algorithm, right? So that's like, you know, if I throw this up right here, right, then you know, whatever, it's gonna come back down to like my hand, right? Every single time that I do it in that exact way. That's technically like an algorithm, right? Just as an example, right? Okay, so so counting in groups of objects, right? So like most people, you see like these dots and stuff, right? It's like most people would count Like most people with an untrained mind, they would count one after another, right? So you do like one after another, you count, right? But when you train your mind, you actually learn to count in groups. So like you'll learn to identify like groups of objects. So you're gonna see like, okay, well I see 5 right here, I see like 5 dots, I see 3 and then I see 2, right? And then, I see like, 7 over here, and then I see like 8 over here, and then I see like 10 more like right here, and then I just add it together. So instantly, like within maybe like a split second of me looking at this, then I know that there are X amount of dots just by adding it together, right? So that's like counting in groups, okay? Okay, so so counting in groups, and then a good way to practice counting in groups is actually counting the number of characters in the words that you read. So if you read something every day, like a newspaper, or something online, like a news feed, or anywhere you go, you read something, watching television, whatever, you train your mind to count the number of characters in the words, right? So you don't do it one after another. You have to train your mind to first start counting in 3s, so, or 2s, right? So when you have like, you're gonna instantly identify, okay, there's 2 right here, there's 2 right here, there's 2 right here, right? And then there's 1 right here. So we know 2, 4, 6, 7 dots, right? And you count like that. So you look at objects, when you look at something, you'll see that there are, that many, and then you start counting them in 2s, right? So you'll start counting in 2s, okay? So like 2 here, 2 characters here, 2 characters there, 2 characters there, 2 characters there, right? All right. So you do like, right, so like 2, 4, 6, 8. So we know that the word counting in the English language has 8 characters, okay, in the word. That makes up 8. So when you remember the word counting, you're going to think 8, right? Okay, so let's see. This is just like to train the mind to count and add things together, right? You won't find anything like on Android or iOS application markets that teach you this stuff. This is stuff that's actually taught to lightning human calculators. A long time ago, they'd have like people that had the ability, and they would train them, and then they would train them up to master it and stuff, at like a young age. Like in Europe. Also, a lot of this stuff was taught to European nobles and royalty. The memory techniques, I'll talk about this stuff later, but I'll probably make like a whole history video of it. I'll make a video, and I'll explain like the history of where like the memory techniques and stuff come from, So what you're doing when you do this is like you train like your rote memory too, right? So you start counting in 2s, then you're gonna start counting in 3s. You're gonna be able to look at something, and you're gonna start counting in 3s. You're gonna be able to identify objects of 3, and then it's different. It's different than the way that they teach you in the U.S. public education system. It's not the same thing. Trust me. So it's not the same thing as like holding up like groups of objects and having someone like count them. This is different. It's a different like concept. It's hard to describe with words, but you'll start to see like objects of 3. So these are like 3 objects right here, right? 3. Then you're counting in 3s. 3, 6, and then 7, 8, right? Okay. And then after that, you're going to start counting in 4s. You're going to be able to identify groups of 4 objects, and then groups of 5 objects, and then groups of 6 objects. So when you get to a point where you can identify groups of 10 objects, and you know for a fact, and you know instantly that there are 10 things there, without counting them one after another, without saying, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, to 10, and you look at it and you know instantly that there are 10 objects there, because you're counting, you've mastered it, you're able to count in objects of 10. That's when you can start to like lightning mentally calculate stuff, and you can like have people hold up like a calculator once you master like all the other stuff, and they might say, okay, what's like 362 multiplied against 481, right? You're gonna be able to tell them that within like 30 seconds or less, because it's all addition. It's all addition. Everything in mathematics that I've come across is addition. It's addition of perfect whole numbers and imperfect numbers, which are the decimal numbers. It doesn't even matter if it's a negative number. It's all addition, right? Even the exponents. All of the exponents are addition. All of the exponent roots are addition. It's all addition. So it's all just adding. It's all adding things together. That's it. Okay, so so I got to where I can do like 10-digit numbers plus other 10-digit numbers in like around like 30 seconds or less, without even looking at it, without even having to write it down. So that's actually a world record, and I can do a 4-digit times a 4-digit mental multiplication. That's a world record. That's better than Arthur Benjamin, right? I'm not like a competitor or anything. I'm just saying, much of the stuff on the internet that has to do with this is bogus. You might come across stuff like the Indian Vedic math systems, or like YouTube videos or something like that, or videos elsewhere. It's all bogus. It's all completely bogus. They don't normally like teach this to people, and this is like stuff that's usually highly sought after, because you can master mathematics with this. And they teach this to they teach some of the math stuff to like other groups, but they mostly teach like the memory techniques to politicians. They pay top dollar for the memory technique stuff, and then they have like videos on people teaching like presidents and European politicians and royalty and stuff like that, like privately teaching them. They don't have videos on it, but I know for a fact, so some people make a lot of money doing this, like the natural calculators that formulate like their own stuff. They make a lot of money doing this and like teaching it to people. I know they've taught it to like some movie stars and some speakers or lecturers, famous speakers and lecturers. The memory techniques go back to Simonides of Ceos, but I'm gonna make another video on that. So again, you train your mind, right? So you start counting in 4s, you can count in 5s and then 6s, right? So we know that this is 8 characters, so 3, 6, 7, 8, right? Because I just counted in 3s, right? And then I'll count in 4s, right? So 4, 8, and then 12, and then 16, right? And then I can just keep going in 4s. I can go in 5s, so like 5, and then like 10, and then like 15, 15, right? So like you're using your brain to like identify and scan, and then you just like add it together, So when you come across like stuff like this, right? So you're just like, you're adding it together.